Hey folks, Jonathan Pittman here, back at you with another review video. If you remember, a few weeks ago I reviewed a harmonica for a company named Conjurer. The harmonica was a 10-hole diatonic, runs about $20, and it's called Blues Storm. And I think it's excellent for blues players. And in a pinch, I could probably play a blues show on it, but it wouldn't be my first pick. But yeah, I was fantastic quality for the price. Today, we're going to take a look at another harmonica that they just sent me called the Aurora. It's a chromatic, 12-hole chromatic. And I think it's an excellent harmonica. Like, we'll just get that out of the way. I think it's excellent. It's plenty good enough for a blues player. I'm not a jazz player, so I can't speak for them. But for the purposes I use this in, this is more than enough of what I need. And this is going to be my regular 12-hole going forward, unless I find something I like better. So let's take a look. First, let's take a look at this box real quick. This box is pretty nice. It's one of the nicer boxes I've seen. I like that it's got this thin foam rubber coating on it. It's not too sticky and it's not too smooth. It's a good grip, so I really like this box a lot. And then the harmonica itself, I think, is very aesthetic. I like the clear comb. I like the construction of the cover plates, and I like these posts. So on a lot of harmonicas, they just have a flat piece of metal that they curve a little bit, and it goes in there. What happens is the point of that support ends up making a peak bending a peak into this cover plate, and then what happens over time, because it's not placed very well and it doesn't give much support, is you'll have this side cave in and go down, and then you'll have the middle cave in and the top cave in, so you kind of get an M shape. With this, I think that's a lot less likely to happen, and that's partly because of the better quality support here, and also the way the cover plate's connected. This is a support here. It's going to give it a lot more rigidity. I can tell by squeezing on this, it's not going to go anywhere. The middle's the most likely to bend, but I don't think it's going to for the most part, because you hold it like that, right on top of that, and then if I move up, I'm going to be holding up here anyway. So the two pressure points I'm going to be squeezing on are exactly where those posts are. So they placed those well. And then I gotta say, this is very, very airtight, and part of that is because of the slider. So on a normal, like on a traditional chromatic, the slider is gonna have the mouthpiece, and then an insertion before the button, and then something after the button, and then I think one other piece. This just has, as far as I can see, I didn't disassemble this, but the comb's clear, so I can see everything in there. Yeah, this just has the mouthpiece, the slider, and the comb. So there's very, very few points where there's leakage. Yep, just the comb. Okay, cool. So I think that's excellent, and the slider's very smooth. I love how smooth it is, but as you can hear, there's some noise coming from that. For jazz players, that's going to probably be an issue because they use very sensitive microphones in quieter settings. For me, I play through a bullet mic usually when I'm doing the chromatic, and it's with a louder band and everything, so that's not going to be picked up. I've played this a few times at some shows and jams and stuff, and it's not an issue. It's not something I think about. The other thing is the travel, for me, is just a little too long. But you can get used to that. It's not a big deal. It's just not my preference. But overall, I think this is a very ergonomic harmonica. And it meets all my needs. Now, sometimes the reeds can squeak, I noticed. Right there. But it's not as big of a deal as it would be on a diatonic, in my opinion. So that's not the greatest thing, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I would still play this out at my shows. I don't have any squeaks at all when I play this. Um, Now, the other thing I noticed on this particular one that they sent me is the top note, number 12, has some notes that aren't playing quite right. See, they're squeaking a little bit. They don't want to play sometimes. And when I'm doing like a crescendo on one of my solos, I'm playing a little harder and they don't want to sound at all. See that they don't want to sound. You just get the lower note from that split octave. So that's not cool, but it's probably easily fixable. There are no valves on that reed, so I can probably easily get in there and gap them and figure out what they need to sound better. But overall, I would say this is an excellent harmonica, like I mentioned. And so let's get into that. How does it sound? So let's see. Again, you can hear that it kind of doesn't want to do that, but I think it sounds great. And if you noticed, we got a bend in here. So that's another indication that this is very airtight again. So it's very expressive, these bends, and that's a big deal for a blues player. Like, that's something we really, really need. Jazz players tend to be more even with how they play. But, yeah, in blues, you really need the expressiveness as much as you can get. So that's great, and I think the octaves sound great, too. They sound in tune to me. So on the upper end, I hear a little bit of beating. I don't mind that. I think it sounds kind of cool. But there are a lot of people who want them to be pure, clean octaves. So yeah. So what did I miss? Oh, so this runs for $100 on Amazon. I think it's well worth the price. I think it's a totally giggable harmonica. And yeah, I also like that it's loud. It's very loud, very crisp, very present. And so those are pretty much all the qualities I'm looking for in a chromatic, and this does it. So why would I pay like $270 on some other brands if I could pay $100 and get this? And like I said, as far as I can tell, the issues I see in this are fixable by me very easily with something pointy. All I have to do is gap it, as far as I can tell. So yeah, I definitely recommend that everybody go out and get one of these and check it out, see what you think for yourself.